Hip hop was good. We here with segment 2. We back on deck. I'm your host, Deme D. Got Cifeman, Dutch Anthems, you already know. And you know, as usual, we had to take 5, you know. If y'all was here, if y'all only knew. But we're going to talk about top 10 albums. Because what I usually do is I ask some of the guests, you know, to give me their top 10 albums just so I can get a feel of their music and, you know, segments we could do. So I'm going to ask you right now, you have, I like this one too. You have Kanye West, Yeezus in your top 10.
In my top 10. No particular order. It's just
I'm just choosing one album just to get a perspective. So let the people know what made this your top 10. Are you a fan of Kanye, or you just love? So you're a fan.
Absolutely a fan of Kanye.
And you love this album.
And I know it might be blasphemous to some of you out there.
Oh shit!
It's my favorite album out of his catalog.
Really?
My favorite album. But I felt like what he did, the experimentation with the music on this album was like, wow, spot on. Like he tried it, in my opinion, in 808, but didn't make it. Like it didn't happen. Like you went too far, or maybe you just didn't go far enough, so it wasn't good on 808. So the risk he took on this album, I thought, wow, like this, like the music, the sound speaks to rage, speaks to confusion, frustration, depression, and so if that's some real shit. Like he was really going through that type of that sort of feeling, and then the bars, you know, to me, were exceptional on there. Were exceptional on there. So I'm like, wow. So he's articulating his feelings, and then the music carries that expression even further. So I was like, wow. Then he's experimenting, switching beats in the middle of the track, changing, like just giving you this complete.
It's like music. It was music.
I was immersed.
It wasn't just like
I was immersed. It wasn't like I was just listening to a song and then go to the next track. It was like I was fucking watching a movie at the same time listening to the soundtrack, at the same time getting high and shit like that. So it was, to me, one of his best works, in my opinion. So I just loved it. And then of course it's like. It's your usual, like your relatable rather problem. You're dealing with it, like I said, with depression, anxiety, loss of friends, you know, family members, blah blah blah, and then it's all set to the backdrop of, you know, living posh and luxurious. So it's like that's the entertainment factor. Like yo, you know, I'm balling, but I'm going crazy. Like, you know what I mean? And I just felt that in the music. I felt like he did a spot on job in expressing that. And so I put it there in my top 10. It's just, you know, I revisited the album, you know, for this segment, and I was like, yo, still the same way. Goosebumps in the foot.
What's the standout songs you would say on there? It's a really short album too.
Yeah, it is 10 tracks.
It's like 10 tracks. Right?
10 tracks. The standout to me is either Blood on the Leaves or Guilt Trip. It's one of those two songs.
Guilt Trip is dope.
You know what I mean?
I find it strange that people didn't like that one though. Guilt Trip?
I guess it's not what people expected going in.
But that's like Kanye, no?
Well, My Twisted Fantasy wasn't that far. So you pick up this album and you.
No, I don't mean the total project. I just mean Guilt Trip itself.
Yeah, that shit was fire.
And Bound to You, to me, those was
Bound to
in his lane. I felt like maybe everything else, like On Sight and all that other shit, I could see. I'm not a slave.
The New Slaves.
No.
I'm a God.
I'm a God. I could see maybe
people like not.
Even though he was bodying that shit.
He's bodying it lyrically though. But yeah,
I'm sorry, one more time, you said Blood on the Leaves?
Blood on the Leaves. Either Blood on the Leaves or Guilt Trip. It depends on, you know, what time of day I'm listening to the album.
What's your thought on Sight? That was actually mine.
On Sight is fire. On fire. Like just
send it up. Send them up.
But that's the second to last song on it. Send it up.
Send it up. And what's your thought on that?
He killed that.
The beat on that one was
I don't know who's featured on that, but whoever was featured on that killed that shit as well, yo. Killed that shit. Because the dude had a line like, I had the girls came in twos and they both sucked like they came to lose. That shit was nuts.
I thought that was him.
Well, that wasn't him. That was somebody else. I can't remember offhand right now.
So check that out, man.
Fire. I love that album.
A lot of people feel differently. A lot of people love it. Yeezus, though, I actually like it. I felt like it was a good album as well. I feel like all artists should have a moment where they, maybe not an 808 moment, but a Yeezus moment.
Yeah, they're vulnerable when they're vulnerable. right? You know, take.
Well, not even just because you can do that because we just had a segment where we were talking about Pusha where we felt like you can go into another lane. Doesn't necessarily have to be vulnerability, but maybe just a different aspect to what you already do. Right. So we're gonna jump to Cife and Cife.
Yes.
This is pretty big album. I think most people was fucking with this. I think this album really helped this artist out. I'm gonna let you introduce the artist and the name.
Yes. I chose SDE by Cameron. That's one of my top 10. Cameron's one of my favorite artists. Anybody that knows me knows that, you know.
Yeah, we all Cam fans.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. We got a Cam room.
Yeah, no,
you know
it's
what
a
I'm
Cam
saying?
room.
That's
Even
what
in
it
the
is.
backdrop,
It's
back
kinda-
people in the back scenes is Cam
what it
fans.
is.
Yeah.
That's what it
Shouts to
is.
that, dude.
Dipset.
That's like my favorite Cam album.
Yo, yeah, it's a lot of people's favorite Cam album, and that's why I picked it as.
It's not my favorite though, but I love it.
It's my favorite. What's your favorite? Real quick. What's your favorite?
Killer Season.
Killer Season is your favorite? Oh, I thought you were gonna say Purple Haze. All right.
That album has my favorite songs that I love to play,
Okay.
but it also has songs that I hate. I did a Cameron segment, so check that out.
You sure. Yeah, so SDE to me is Cam's classic. Like, you see how everybody, like Biggie got a Ready to Die,
Okay.
Jay got a Reasonable Doubt. I understand Confessions of Fire was his debut. I'm not gonna shit on Confessions of Fire. You know, that's not gonna happen today or ever. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that this was
He became
Cam's.
killer. On
Yeah,
that.
this was the Cam that everybody, you know, especially if you listen to the mixtapes of him coming up, like
The freestyles.
Yeah, the freestyles. This was the Cam that he was giving you. Unfortunately, it didn't get promoted right, and he said it in he referenced it in
Saying
That's
that's not the best.
just not promoted right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe like if they promoted that album and if he wasn't going through such a different transition, not only with that album,
He was having label problems.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
what I'm saying.
At this time, labels were crucial.
Right.
This ain't
Yeah,
that in
right,
that
yeah,
wave
right.
times.
Right.
Labels.
yeah, I believe if all that label bullshit that happened, that he would have been on the same tier as a Jay-Z and all of them. Not to say he didn't have a good run and he didn't do
Yeah,
what
because
he
Cam got
did.
a strong following, but I know what you're
yeah,
saying.
he would have been on. I promise
When
you,
people-
he would have been on the same.
He could have been
tier.
mentioned and nobody would have even flinched.
Fact.
Now they try to be like, oh, you.
Oh, Cam.
Cam.
I'm like,
Oh.
I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So
That's
that's
my
how
big
they talking to
commentary.
me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I felt about that album. So to me, that's his particular classic. That's his thriller. And the songs I like on that just stood out to me. That's me. Like he said it. Well, no, he didn't set it off with that. Fuck you, coming from Confessions of Fire. He set it off with fuck you. I like the way that he set it off. But that's me was like, yo, everybody understand what that is.
Flex
So,
ran that shit back.
like I don't.
30. Do you remember that night?
Yeah, absolutely.
You remember that
Before
night?
it dropped, niggas knew the line. You know what I'm
Flex
saying?
ran that shit back.
Ran it back.
This when Flex really mattered too. You know what I'm saying? hey, he brought that shit back. He dropped bombs on it like 9 times.
And I want to talk about the features on that album too. Like he got like a who's who of features on that album. He got
Dutch and
Beyonce, Dutch and Spade. That's one of my joints too, the Dutch and Spade joint. Prodigy, that's my favorite.
That's one of my.
That's my
everybody's
favorite.
favorite.
You know what
You
I'm
don't like
saying?
that song, you a sucker.
Yeah, for real. Young
talk.
Jewels on Double Up.
Double
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Jimmy spitting.
Yeah, Jimmy spitting. Which everybody Jada Kids did the Y, but Cam did the Y first with Jim Jones on that, and he was sounding like he was on some spoken word type of shit. You know what I'm saying? The flow that he used on that. So I thought that album was great. I thought it from beginning to end. If you skip it, it's because if I skip it specifically, it's because I'm not fucking with that. Like Freak, I'm not fucking with that right now. He killed it.
That's my
You know what I'm
problem with
saying?
that album.
Really?
The songs that I don't like, I really don't like.
really don't like it.
Why would I eat chicken? Or what? Just because I eat chickens don't mean I eat chickens. I'm
Chicken
like, come
ain't
on.
like when I come through.
When I come through, I like his swag on it, but I'm like, nah, Cam.
Nah, I was feeling that. But yeah, it's because I'm not in that particular moment I'm not trying to hear this right now.
I feel it.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, he got some strong
that
joints on
album to me is a classic, and
You left some people out, B.
Who
You had those dirty bastards.
Oh, that's.
You had Noriega on there.
Noriega, which brings me to my next point. Between Come Kill Me The 5, what's the shit that come after it?
Clank, clank.
What do I got to live for?
What do I got
That
to
little
live
sequence right
for?
there, from 5 to 6 to 7, that little sequence right there, yo,
Grandma
hands
dead,
down. Grandma.
Shed dead, what do I got to
And then he come in with the
live
ODB, with the violence.
Nigga,
Nah,
bitch,
that
nigga,
sequence
nah.
right there, I don't give a fuck. On every album, that's a classic sequence right there. That sequence right there, right there. You know what I'm saying? Between 5, 6, and 7. Yo, hands down. I said
It is hands down.
I said enough.
And then-
I said
and
enough.
then-
You feel me?
We gonna leave it there, man. Tune in, check these
bodied,
albums.
yo.
Kanye West, Yeezus, Cameron, SDE, Sports, Drugs, and Entertainment. Dipset, you already know.
Alright.
So.